So mine has to do with the Raiders finally getting rid of the Patriot way and just going back to what we said. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and we said, hey, they need to go back to what they're known for. Everybody here pretty much gave their opinion and did a great job of pretty much saying what they needed to do to get back into it. And I think Mark Davis finally smartened up, as he said to a fan. And, as you saw, like, now, am I saying that things are going to change now and they're going to go on a run? No, I think what a lot of Raider Nation had been asking for was, hey, give us back what made us great. And that was, the Raider way, Raider Nation, how we do things, and I think you saw a lot of it against the Giants there. Now, the Giants aren't a great team, but this is also the same team that lost to the Bears. So at least seeing them be their what they are meant to be, you're never going to be able to get back commitment to excellence because it's hard now in the NFL. In the salary cap era, there's only been one team that's been able to do that. And the reason the Patriot way works is because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the Patriot way. The Raiders way is being, these, hey, we don't give a F about anybody. We're going to do things. We're going to commit as many penalties as we can, but we're going to win, and we're going to do it. We're going to scrap, and we're going to get things done. And I think it's just nice to see someone who's actually a Raider fan, in Antonio Pierce, who grew up a Raider fan, be the head coach. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm just happy to see that for a lot of the Raider Nation, because they've been asking for it.
Joe Morley as head coach. Let's just, by the way, I heard some clown on the radio the other day go, Lincoln Riley should be they should consider Lincoln Riley or Jim Harbaugh. I'm like, why would either one of those guys work? Like, if you're Mark Davis, I thought Frank Smith is actually probably their best. It's probably going to be their best pick.
Did you see the tweet that supposedly Brady's going to have huge input on this?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Brady's the one that got in his ear, and
I would not be shocked.
I bet you Brady was like that motherfucker.
And then when
the football one time, I don't forget, fire his ass.
When he got the call, he just was like this, like he got stabbed in the back, and he turned around and he said, "Et tu, Brutus?"
Well, the problem with the Patriot way is that people like these coaches come in and they want to be hard asses, and they forget that the players smell BS from a mile away. And they're like, wait.
It's
you're not Bill Belichick. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Yeah. Like Josh McDaniels, you won all those Super Bowl rings with the Patriots, but you were just the OC. Like, Belichick and Brady are the Patriot way, not you.
And that's a great point, because for now, like players going to New England knowing like, okay, those Super Bowls, I'm walking in and seeing all that stuff. Like, what was it? I think it was like a story. Edelman, like Edelnut, because that's what Randy Moss calls him. Like, I think he had a story saying like Bill Belichick tested the players. Hey, who's that up there? What legend is that? What legend is that? You better freaking know, because they're Super Bowl champions and Hall of Famer. When you're walking to like Detroit, Matt Patricia, or the Raiders, like, you haven't won crap. You can't have the same mentality. Like, you don't go in there like, oh, I better get my act together because these guys actually win. Like, you don't have that. And Fernando, hopefully you're right with the Tom Brady thing, because he probably knows too. Like, it's a whole different kind of ballgame when you're in New England. You can't repeat that, and we'll see what happens when.
He's like, look, I'm a part of this organization, and I can't have BS here.
Yeah, and like
we gotta win.
And it's kind of like with that report that Jay Glazer said, like, hey, like, he got so butthurt about Antonio Pierce talking about the Giants beating the Patriots. Like I get Bill Belichick.
Supposedly on Bussin' with the Boys, Max Crosby said it was that he never heard that, really? But yeah, but I don't know.
Okay, fine. I won't go there. It might be fake, but like it's kind of like that kind of mentality. Like, Bill Belichick like engraved it in people's mind. Like, yeah, this is the way. But like, it's like when you leave, you got to build that way. And Victor, to your point, like, the one thing I'm afraid of, like John Gruden, I mean, not John Gruden, Mark Davis likes to copy things, and if he wants to recreate the old Raider way, like, it's like kind of like you're going back to the John Gruden. We're like, okay, well, my dad did it. Why can't I copy him? And then you try copying the Patriot way. So the Pierce thing, I like the story. He's a Raider through and through, and I love him walking around to NWA music and just, saying I'm from Compton. I like that. But like, remember, you got to find your own way, because it's not 1974. It's 2023. So don't fall into that trap of trying to recreate something that happened a long time ago.
And I'll say this. I know a lot of people think about Al Davis, but remember, he was also, he thought ahead. He hired Art Shell. He hired John Gruden the first time when he was a young assistant. He found guys who, like John Madden. That's the thing that people forget about with Al Davis. And I'm not saying, like, if he wants to be like his dad, Mark, he needs to go and hire like a Mike McDonald. Like, he's perfect right now. Just what he's doing with the Ravens, like, that's the kind of guy you want in the – like, go the opposite way. Like, everybody's trying to hire the new offensive guru, which, looking at the offense this year, like, there is no offensive guru. So go and hire the defensive guy, because right now defense is king. So that would mean my thing. But
well, I mean, and the thing is that everybody kind of remembers the last few years of Al Davis, the Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
Who's the Dennis Allen? What's the other dipshit? The one that's at
Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin. Like, they remember those hires, but they forget the wins, the victories, everything that he did. Remember, he started off as an assistant coach at SDSU and worked his way up into, like, he was a big piece of the AFL, moving over into the NFL. Yeah, he was a big piece of all that. And Al Davis was, he was innovative. So, yeah, they just need to get back to that way, but create your own legacy. But it's going to be tough. And, I mean, you have some of the, like, you have Max Crosby. I still think they're going to get rid of Devontae Adams, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be there. But I think Max Crosby's a good building block. I think they have some good play. 41's a good player. Spillane.
Yeah.
Spillane. I think he's pretty good. But they need to kind of revamp their secondary. They need to do some other stuff. But this is going to be funny. Dan,
I'm glad. I just want to say, first off, I'm glad the Raiders were brought up naturally, because I'm going to add this to that conversation, not of my own time. So I just want to say, on this program a few weeks ago, whenever it was, I said they need to fire Josh McDaniels and get back to what the Raider way is and getting someone in there who understands what it means to be a Raider. And look what happened. You all laughed at me before. Well, I don't hear you laughing.
Nobody laughed at you, okay?
Yes, you did. I come on this.
We just said it's a little too soon, and you were on it, okay? Credit to that.
Speaker, I reclaim my time.
Nobody laughed.
You guys, I have these takes. You all think I'm crazy and outlandish, but when they hit, all of a sudden, what the hell does he know? That's I think that has been the biggest problem.
It's bringing him into his next point.
That's what I think has been the biggest problem, is like, when it comes to the Raiders, right? They're such a marquee franchise that it's such a shame they haven't been like the Steelers, the Patriots, and the Ravens, and some of these other guys, where it's like they can have down years, but what do you always expect whenever you're playing these franchises? Hard-nosed football and very physical defense. The run game, depending on who it is, sometimes is on and off. And it's a shame that the Raiders have not been that. They've been a mockery the past few decades. And it's like what they needed, or the interim head coach they hired and they put up there, absolutely perfect. LA guy, the NWA, all that stuff, like that resonates with a lot of people. And, seeing him on Sunday doing the Raiders chant, like, Vic, how amped up is the fan base? They have to be amped up seeing the head coach do that stuff. Like, that's what you have to do to get them motivated.
Yeah.
Bring back
after being the 2-win Giants.
Yeah. That's a different thing.
That had to do more with Josh Daniels. They had
exactly getting him out of there
with the win. Yeah.
The thing I think sometimes people don't understand is that you don't need the head coach to call plays or be X's and O's. What you need the head coach to do is have a vision, have an idea, that create a culture in the building. Like, if he hires the best coordinators, all he needs to do is be the culture guy and be a manager. In my personal opinion, that I think is the job of the head coach. And you need a guy like that. That's why they saw through the Patriot way and all this other stuff. It doesn't work. There's not the same buy-in, because some of these franchises, those coaches who have been there that long, at this point, they have a cult around them because they understand what they're there to do. And I think the Raiders, that's what they've been missing this whole time. And that's why it didn't work with Josh McDaniels. And, thankfully they got rid of him sooner rather than later. But I think in the next head coaching hire, they need to get not some wizard who does this or that, not some whatever. They need to get a guy who's going to establish the culture and bring back the Raider way, because I think that's been the Raiders. You know, I talked about this when they moved to Vegas. That time when we talked about getting Josh McDaniels, where the hell's the black hole, dude? Yeah. That to me, I think is so crucial on what's missing. You know, having stupid nightclubs, who gives a shit? You're not there to do that stuff. It's Las Vegas. You can go outside and you'll find it. They need that type of atmosphere, because it was always a challenge, no matter how bad they were, to go play in the Coliseum because of the black hole and a lot of those
you get batteries thrown
at. Can I add one
great
more
points?
thing?
Great points, Dan. Remember, great points.
You laughed at me, but here we go.
I never laughed.
Watch them turn it around a little bit and have some success towards the end of the season.
You're hanging out with Eddie too much.
I was gonna say to add to your point. I mean, he brought up dudes from the practice squad to the sideline, which
is that not normal? I thought everybody did that.
I didn't know about this. I didn't know you can do that.
I was a McDaniels thing. I thought every team.
Oh no! The practice squad guys. Remember, we've seen them before. They're in the press. They're in a suite, like
they were like in their suits, and I mean their jumpsuits, and they hang around the sideline sometimes.
No, that's only the guys that are inactive. I think because we've seen them in the elevator when the coaches come over. It's all like they kind of go down right around like 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. They go down.
The Chargers never did that. I'm like, I thought I saw a couple practice guys.
No, I've never seen practice.
That's ridiculous. They're not on the field. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because he said, "Hey, I did this in high school. We did it in college, and so we wanted to reward them for having a great practice that week." And I thought, I was like, "Why aren't teams doing this?" And so I was just surprised and I was going to ask you guys, and you know, now you guys are talking about it.
That's what they need.
I guess I never pay attention.
They've had an identity crisis, I think, the past few times. Maybe Gruden brought back the Raider way a little bit, just couldn't figure it out or whatever. But, you know, they've had an identity crisis for a while, and I still think it was a mistake. Jack Del Rio, if I remember right, had that team running before they canned him and brought in Gruden.